not one that I don't owe gratitude to. Starting with, and you wonder, well, how do you get connected to do what you do? And back in my days with Bethlehem Steel, I happened to be on the Board of Education at Baltimore County, and was later the president, and along with the superintendent, Bob DeBell, we went to Chief Behan to see how we might cope with drugs in the schools. And the chief suggested putting cadets in the school as undercover folks, and they did a magnificent job. So time passed, and I left Bethlehem, retired, and the chief called me and said, hey, I'd like you to do some executive development work. So I did, and I came over to talk to him, and he had this grand plan, and I said, that sounds great. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I said, now what kind of a budget do you have? And he said, well, we don't have a budget. He said, but you have some connects with the education community, so let's see what you can do. So that was the challenge, and I appreciate him for that. Then I had the opportunity to work for Chief Mike Gambrill, and he, along with Commissioner Tom Frazier, had this idea of creating a field commanders forum to have cooperation and collaboration across the counties and the city, and they gave me the ticket to make it happen. And again, it was, hey, but we don't have any money, so we did a little fundraising out in the business community and got a substantial amount to kick it off. And I remember, and Larry would know well, the county executive in Baltimore County at that time was Don Hutchinson, and we asked Don to be the keynote speaker, and we had the mayor, all the county executives, and all the chiefs of police, and a number of federal folks involved as well at a kickoff event. And the next day in the Baltimore Sun was a lead editorial, Cooperation in Blue. So it was, the whole notion that cooperation and collaboration among those who are involved in the business needs to take place, and that was the beginning of that. And then later on I worked for Chief Terry Sheridan, and he gave me the opportunity to be the director of the Training Academy in Baltimore County, and something that I appreciated very much. That's where I really got to know Shelley Greenberg. Shelley at that time was the deputy director for the for PERF, the Police Executive Research Forum in Washington. And I had Shelley come up to give me some help in doing some training and whatnot. So time passed, and I was leaving that position, and by now Shelley is connected at Hopkins, and he gave me a call and said, hey, I'd like to have you do some stuff with the Secret Service. They just signed a partnership agreement with then President Bill Brody and the Director Lou Merletti. So I got the ticket to work with the Secret Service, and with folks like Ed Skrodsky, who was a SAC in Baltimore, and many of the others. And as time passed, and eventually we began to do the executive development cohorts, master's program classes that were conducted by Hopkins, and a lot of the faculty that are here taught those courses, and I owe them a great gratitude as well. And some of the folks who were in the first cohort are in the back. Greg Marchio is the Deputy Assistant Director of Human Resources and Training, and next to him is Becca Revia, who is the Special Agent in charge of the Presidential Protection Division. And in one of the subsequent cohorts, Bill Franson, who is a Special Agent in charge of the Regiment Field Office. Next to him, Todd Kreischer, who is the Special Agent in charge of the Forensic Services Division. and of course Ed Skradsky, who is in charge of security at the Hopkins campus. So these, and Paul Wade, who was in the last cohort, are some of the folks from those initial classes that we held, and they have truly moved up with him in their organization. Of course, along the way, some people pick on you, and Vic Arevia, he never stops. I was telling my girls, and I'll tell you, that on the second day of class, it's a Saturday, and Vic raises his hand, and the instructor said, "You have a question?" He said, "No, just a comment." He said, "The old guy sitting across the aisle," I sat across from him, he says, "He's got two different color brown socks on." I looked down and I said, it would take the eyes of an eagle to see this difference in color. But there was a difference. I looked over at Vic. Vic, it's a Saturday, he's got no socks. So I said, "This guy doesn't have any socks on." He said, "Yeah, but mine match." So Vic and I have been trading these sort of emails forever, some up till today. And I don't know if Jim Campbell's still here, but Jim, there he is. Yeah, Jim wrote an article in the Gazette about my retirement. And Vic saw it, and he says, "Hey," he emails me, "whoever wrote this puff article in the Gazette doesn't know you like I know you." He said, "I know when on Saturday mornings when you and your buddy Tom Kelly, who was the SAC in Chicago and is now with Bowie, would come into class half disheveled, smelling like cheap whiskey and even cheaper perfume." He said, you know, and it went on and on. So that's, I can't tell you all, but it was sort of got the story. But Vic is a very good friend, and as is Bill Francis. And Bill, I got to tell you about Bill.
I was there, I saw it.
Right.
Where's that rock?
Key West.
Right. Hey, Vic, don't be leaving. You're making believe that the president's calling. We're down in Key West, and Maureen and I and Kim are on a tour of
The Truman White House.
The Truman White House. And we're walking by this room, and I see this picture. And I said to the guide, what's that? Because I knew I knew who it was. And she said, "Oh, well, he was here with, he was part of the presidential detail, and he was with President Carter." And the White House photographer said, "He is the cutest agent I've ever seen." And so she took his picture, and this is the picture that's in that room.
It is.
Well, about 10 minutes later, when I got on my iPad, I am sending this message to all the folks that are in the class with Bill, that here he is, the cutest agent. Now he, of course, like any, he retaliated. He said, "First, you threw me under the bus." He said, "I'm getting emails from people I haven't seen in 10 years. Bill at that time was especially in charge of the inspection division. And he said, "I owe you one." Well, time passed, and I got an email from him, but it wasn't from his Secret Service address. Right away, I thought, this is different. Well, it was a little jib-jab video that he worked up, and I just erased that from my computer today. But he threatened at graduation to have it up on the Jumbotron. And I said, "No, you can't." He said, "Don't challenge me. Don't challenge me." So to each and all, particularly to the faculty who taught all the Secret Service classes, and I don't want to miss the the Gettysburg Group, General Jack Davis, Jerry Brown.
Kelly, where is it up here?
It's in the front page of the book.
The front page of the book?
Yep.
Okay. In here, Joe, in the front page of this book that Bill Franson's going to start signing is a letter to you. Should I have to make him read it himself? Do we have to read it, or can we just say it's here, Kelly? Can we just say it's here?
It's up to Joe. If you'd like to read it.
Do you want to read this?
No.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
There's a letter here from President Daniels, and he wanted you to be remembered. The president of the university has acknowledged this event and it included a personal handwritten note for you in the front of the book. This book is open, and Bill, you get to be the first person to...
Could you start with somebody else?
No. and then...
Oh, Vic, no,
the
that's
helmet,
one.
yeah, Vic can come first. The helmet...
Under the Christmas tree.
Oh, Joe, one more thing. There is for you, this doesn't come easy. We figured, given, as you've said, at your advanced age, things start falling off, you might need a little protection. So this is signed by every member of the Hopkins lacrosse team. And they wanted you to have this in appreciation for all that you've done for all of us. Here you go, my friend. To eat and greet Joe and your friends, please. There's a lot of stuff here we gotta get at, so please get to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vic. Thank you, Vic.